What's up, everyone? This is Russ Whitaker back on YouTube again for a phone review. I've not done one of those in about maybe 2 years, so I figured I'd come back and give you guys a little demo of the Galaxy Note 3 on T-Mobile. Phone was released in September 2013. Has a 2.3 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 800 processor. Now, this is actually an octa-core phone, but they software locked it due to issues with temperature. So any of you Note 3 owners out there and S4 owners, you do have an octa-core processor in there, but it just is not usable yet due to software limitations. But I'm sure Samsung will find a way to change that. Alright everyone, so we're going to run you down the basics here today of the phone. We're going to go to design. We're going to have a front speaker grill right here for placing calls. You're going to hear your calls out of that. We got an ambient light sensor, sensors here for motion, and we have our front-facing camera, LED light, if you can see this blink blue, there we go. This is our screen. Trying to think of the size of the screen. I believe it's 5.7 inch, 920 by 1080p Super AMOLED display. We're at the bottom here, actually, this is a really notable thing about Samsung. We have a dedicated home button right here we can use. Now, there is also two buttons on here that will light up too. We have a back button and a menu button here. On our left side of the phone, we have a volume rocker, up volume, down volume, and besides that, nothing else except for this little plastic bezel going around it, which looks kind of nice, but the problem is it's plastic. I don't know about you guys, I don't mind plastic as long as it does not look cheap or feel cheap. On our right side here, we have our power button on here, and then besides all that, we have nothing else except for a little microphone right here. There's actually 3 of those on this device. Actually, come to think of it, looks like there's another microphone here, so we got 2 on the right side. We're going to go to the back of the phone now. We got our 13 megapixel camera right here. Takes 1080p videos. Actually, there's several different frame rates. We have 30 frames per second. We also have 60 frames per second standard speed. And then we're going to have 120 frames per second in slow motion. So you guys can take some really, really cool videos of this camera. One thing I actually really liked. And it actually has this kind of a leather design on the back of the Note 3. It doesn't actually feel like leather. It's kind of hard to tell. You could feel the plastic a little bit, but as you can see, we have the grooves here. It looks like leather. Kind of a nice little feel. And we do actually also have a stylus right here that comes out of the phone. This can be used on this phone anywhere. It works out pretty well. And of course, we have our T-Mobile logo. It's going to vary, of course, according to carrier. Galaxy Note 3 logo right there. And on the back of the phone, that is it. On the top of the phone here, we have an IR blaster. This is so you can control your TV with your phone, basically. And if anyone's new to this phone, there are apps on the market here that you can use to actually turn this phone into a remote. Yes, it'll work on any TV. You just got to program it. It'll walk you through step by step on how to do that. We have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack right here. Universal for basically any kind of headphones today, really. I don't see anything different there. And then we come to the very bottom of the phone. We have our USB 4.0 port right here. Now that's it's different. Now I do have to say it charges a lot quicker with the 4.0 port than it would a standard port. And as you can see that the connections are a little different. You see it has 2 separate areas. The charger's a little bigger too as well. And then just to the right of that, we have a speaker right here. Your speaker for playing music, playing games, whatever you want to do. And then we have another microphone on the bottom. Alright everyone, so we ran through the basic design of the phone, so we're going to run you through some of the software. Now, this right now is running Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. Samsung has not commented yet on if we're going to get KitKat yet, but we're working on that, and hopefully we will be getting KitKat soon for this device. I'm sure a lot of you are looking forward to getting some kind of nice update. I know Android's been really hard at work. Google's been hard at work at getting new software out there. Moto X had it, I believe, a little after it came out. Besides that, there's a select few other devices that can have it. So we're going to run through the basics. You can see this, of course, it works very smoothly. There's never any lag with these quad-core processors whatsoever. So we're going to have our basic layout of Android. Of course, we have TouchWiz 4.0 installed on here. It kind of overlays the stock Android experience. Now, of course, I have a live background because, well, I like them. And, of course, we have our pull-down notification drawer here. Same as basically as any other Android phone. Very smooth. Tap the clear button, clears all your notifications out. We have our text app, which I didn't want to pop up, but I guess it did. Now, this is not built-in. This is actually a widget right here, the weather. This comes pre-installed with the TouchWiz interface, so it looks pretty nice on the phone itself. I don't always use it, but I find it kind of neat just to pull up your phone. Hey, look, it's below zero outside, negative 40-degree wind chill. That kind of sucked, by the way, a couple weeks ago if you lived in the PA area and all across the other parts of the country here. Alright, so then we have our app area here. We have all of our apps lined up. The only problem I did notice is that they kind of combined all of my apps together. They didn't actually, or the software didn't actually sort them out alphabetically. I mean, as you can see, these stock apps that came with the phone, I don't even believe they're in order. So this is basically, it's a little different. A lot of Android phones today would organize them in alphabetical order, but they just kind of throw everything in there. I think it's not as bad, but I prefer the alphabetical order, so I know what I'm looking for. It makes it easier navigation. You can also create folders. You can drag and drop. So like I want to create a folder here. I'm just going to drag it into the camera right there. Apparently it won't let me do it on a home page. Alright, never mind about that. So basically this is our current layout with that. Now we're going to go into the settings menu here. Now on the Galaxy Note 3, now this is a little different from what you would normally see on some phones. We have 4 separate tabs here. They actually divided up everything into 4 separate areas to kind of make it easier for the end user to understand where everything is. So we have our Connections tab right here. Whoops. We have our Connections tab right here, and then we're looking at our Device tab. This is going to give you sound display, multi-window, which is really, really nice and neat. You can actually run 2 applications at once. We have options for our LED indicator. We have our lock screen personalization, wallpaper, font, notification panel, easy mode, which would actually, easy mode will make the interface a lot easier for first-time smartphone users. Say like you went from a really old flip phone like the NV3, okay, and then we went to a Galaxy Note 3. Well, that's a big difference because an NV3 is just a basic phone. You're going into a huge, powerful smartphone right now, and by the way, huge, this actually takes up the entire palm of my hand. So, very big phone. I'll run you through a demo of easy mode right now. So as you can see, it says easy mode provides an easier experience for first-time smartphone users with a simpler layout and bigger icons. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on. Okay. So now we're going to let that load up, and we're going to show you all what this looks like on easy mode. And like I said, first-time users would probably really, really like this. It didn't do anything. That's a little odd. Apparently it doesn't like me today. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Apparently it doesn't want to work for me. I'd like to show you guys what that looked like. I'm going to turn that off. Basically, just bigger icons. It would look like a normal basic phone, but have all the power under, so the end user doesn't get confused as easily if they never had a smartphone before. Now, yeah, this has all the really cool different ways you can control the device, actually. We have a camera. The front camera here can actually do face detection to unlock the phone. And also, you can actually swipe your hand across the screen if you have it activated. I don't have mine turned on. But if you swipe your hand across the screen, the home screens will move with your hand. If you get to play music and if you wave your hand to the right, your tracks will go back one. So you don't actually have to lay your hands on the device in order to switch your songs. Which I thought was pretty cool. I don't use it a whole lot, but I figured it's a pretty neat little feature to have. Okay, so we're going to jump into a couple other things. Just a couple application overviews here. Basic use of the phone. I'm going to try to keep this video under 15 minutes if possible, if YouTube lets me upload more than 10, but we'll see. Of course, we got our Google apps right here. We got the original Google app, our voice search app, and our Gmail. Gmail for me is pretty handy. It works. This folder is apparently empty. Then we have the Samsung apps all neatly organized into one here. We have our internet voice recorder, calculator, my files, and downloads. I never really use a voice recorder, never had a need to yet. Calculator, surprisingly, a few times I've had to use that. My files, this is just going to case, say like you want to copy some files to your phone from your computer, and this is a pretty easy way to access all of those into one place. You don't have to worry about fiddling around with your phone and getting lost in some kind of software junction. Not have to worry about that at all. Besides that, ignore that. This phone is rooted. It is running this stock 4.3. The only thing that's different is a kernel on it. I'm not running the stock Samsung kernel with it. It's a different kernel. It's for battery life. I originally changed that over to see what it would do. Works good. Now, let's see here. But of course, now YouTube does not come pre-installed. You have to install that via Google Play. Some of the phones come with YouTube pre-installed now. This doesn't come pre-installed either. That's Minecraft, WPXI, my local news station, Google Plus. No, I don't really know who uses that a whole lot, but we'll keep it. Oh, another app I really do recommend if you guys have a smartphone like this, your flashlight app. All those times whenever you wish you could find your keys in the dark. Well, there you go. Sorry about the light. Makes it easy. You're stuck for an hour like that. So you got Pandora Radio, which is pretty nice. You got your Play Music app, that is Google made, by the way, not stock. Now, on the version I'm running though, I don't have the stock Samsung Media Player that came with it. Yes, there will be one installed with the phone whenever it comes in. Besides all that, nothing else here really to go over in this page. We're just going to go ahead and look at the browser use here and see how that works. Now, as you can see, what Samsung is doing now is they're actually putting us into a full screen mode. I have not been able to find the option in order to enable the status bar. But as you can see, this takes up the entire screen, a huge 5.7 inches of it, so you have a pretty good view of all your content. It works pretty good. So you go to Google, of course, because we're all over Google right now. This is on Wi-Fi, by the way. This is not in T-Mobile, because where I am at, T-Mobile does not have good coverage. So as you can see, pinch to zoom. Works very nice. You can see the colors. Everything is very vivid. There is no pixelation, but the other reason there isn't this is because the image isn't really the highest quality. But on normal web pages, you will not see pixelation in your text at all. Anything over 300 pixels per inch on a phone makes it basically invisible to the human eye if there's any pixelation whatsoever. So that's a really neat thing. And now we're just going to run through a few more things here. We have our phone dialer here. As you can see, it's a nice layout. We have a white background with black lettering and text. Now it actually brings out the contrast. You can see it a little easier, especially outside in the sun. We have our call logs here. We have our favorites here. And we have our original contacts, which, for some reason, funny story, my Google account synced all of my contacts 10 times each. So I have about 700 people on here, and half of them, or actually all of them, are copied 10 times. So that's what I'm dealing with every day, having to search for things. Besides that, everything works very nice. Of course, that's not my area code, but I tried. I have no service. Typical. Besides that, we'll do one more thing. We'll run down to the camera. Now the camera, I believe it actually takes really good pictures here. Now of course, what you guys are seeing and what I'm seeing is a whole different thing. If you guys actually want to see the camera in action itself, go to AT&T or T-Mobile and play around with a Note 3 for a little while. You'll see that the camera is extremely good. Actually, in my opinion, a lot better than what you can buy for $500 at a store, like a Nikon. You can get better pictures on this thing than you could in Nikon. And the good thing is, the 13 megapixels, you can zoom in real good, or real close to an object, and it will not look distorted. It'll bring out the color still, and it doesn't look a whole mess like a lot of phones with a lower megapixel count. So besides that, everybody, you're looking at a Note 3 right now. The price range on these are about, well, actually it depends. If you go with AT&T's Next program, you can finance it for around $20 to $25 a month until you pay it off. If you have worse credit, or if you have kind of bad credit, you have to put a down payment on it. The upgrade, I believe it's around a little over $250 to upgrade on a 2-year contract for this device. I financed this because there's no way in hell I can afford the phone outright like that, so I financed it. Besides that, the battery life is outstanding. I mean, completely outstanding. I have never had this thing die on me yet, and I don't think I will for a long time. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of a comparison how big the battery is, and this is probably going to shock you guys, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's the battery. The battery takes up a good half the phone. Then we have our SD card slot right here. Under this SD card slot, I believe that would be your SIM card right there. So your SIM card goes under that. Depends on model and everything. And then I don't know what this is. Probably the NFC chip here. And if you guys are new to NFC, it's called Near Field Communications. A lot of places, like say McDonald's, has a scanner where you can say like you want to hook up Google Wallet to your phone. You put your credit card information. All you have to do is put your phone near that scanner that they have there at McDonald's. Say you want to go there, and it'll automatically check it. It'll take your information. And then it'll charge you. So basically, you don't have to worry about using your card. You can leave your card at home. You can just use your phone. A little more convenient, less chances of that getting lost. Well, everyone, I'm going to make a separate video in the next couple of days here of software reviews, as I always do. But I ran you guys down the basics of the phone, and honestly, I believe this is one of the best phones I've ever seen made here. Very high tech and very extremely thin. The only issue I have is when I make phone calls on it, people give me the really cheesy grin because my phone's about bigger than my hand. So that's one thing. If you like bigger phones And if you like really long battery life, crisp and clear display, and an outstanding camera, go for the Note 3, everybody. That's my recommendation. Well, this has been Russ Whitaker, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. We'll come back with a software review in a few days. Thanks for watching.